Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. I'm going to get straight into it today because I want to show you a full demo using the stamp and spin tool from Sizzix. And this fits perfectly in the stencil and stamp tool. So this one is a bit of a stamping platform and it has a hinge, and into the hinge we fit our stamp and spin tool, which if I can just move this a little bit, show you the hinge down here, just fits straight in. To take it out, you just lift it up and pull it out. And this, which I've put in the middle here, is what I'd love to show you how I created this. Now, I love this. As you know, I love wreaths, but I know some of you struggle, and this, honestly, not only can you create wreaths, you can do pattern building, even just using it as a stamping platform for the larger stamps. As a lot of you know, I have arthritis in my hand, my knuckles getting worse, and that's why I have my copy of paper. This, don't struggle now. Honestly, what a difference it's made. So I'm going to create something like this and hopefully talk to you and sort of give you a few of the heads up of things I've discovered with it. Now, first of all, I'm going to use, and this is an A4 sheet of Multifarious. The grid here is slightly tacky, and the good thing is it means your card just sticks to it. Now, I would rather use a larger piece of card and then cut it down, which is why I'm using an A4 piece. On the lid, it's got various, now it's a very dark day in Cheshire when I'm recording this, so I will try and get the light as best as I can, but I've told you before, I really need a proper cameraman and a proper system. Now this is going to reflect, I'm sorry, on the lid. So on this circular lid here, we have grids here, so that you can decide, depending on how large, which stamp you're using, how large it is, whether you want it to overlap, whether you want a distance, and you'll work out a smaller piece of card and a smaller stamp, you'll use one of the circles nearer. And as you play, that will make sense. If it doesn't make sense to you now, honestly, once you start, it will. So obviously I'm looking, I want sort of, I've put my stamp on and I want my wreath to go on this sort of circle, this sort of area. And also we have a wheel here that we move round, and it goes in notches. Now I'm going to use 1 notch for my spacings. You can use 2 or 3 depending how big your stamp is and how many times you want to stamp it. And again, that will all become clear. So I've popped my stamp on. Now when I lift this up, and it is weight, it's a beautiful weight. Obviously I'm going to ink it up out of shot, so I do apologise, you won't be able to see. But obviously I've only got a certain amount of space here. I'm going to start with Portobello. I'll try and remember to tell you the colours, but I will list them at the bottom. So this stamp is the oak leaves, and this is my first one. So I'm going to lift the lid, bring it and pop it down. Now my suggestion is, I mean, it's a lovely weighty lid, as I say, it almost stamps itself, and you don't worry when you lift it up because your card is on this sticky mat. Always check that it's stamped, because if it hadn't, you could add more ink. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to spin. This, you can go clockwise or anti-clockwise. I'm going to go towards me. I just find it easier. Turn it, and then it will click. Now, I've got to be honest, it squeaks a little. That's not me, but it's because it's new-ish. I have been playing with it. So ink up again, bring it in, stamp, lift up, twist. Again, it clicks. And I'm just going to carry on inking up and spinning, just to show you how. And again, you can vary the orientation. I just have to remember to spin, because I'm liable to keep talking and forget what I'm doing, or forget to ink up. So you might have to remind me. Stamp, lift up, yeah, spin. And I do think if you were batch card making and you wanted your stamp in a specific place, again, it's perfect for that. Lift it up, lovely, spin. I think we just have one more. Again, it really is weighty. It's beautiful. One more click. There we go. As I say, I'm just turning it once, but you can turn it twice. You've got grids on here, lines showing you 45 degrees and 90 degrees. Lift that up. Yep, happy with that. So I'm going to wipe that and lift that off. Now, what I tend to do now, and again, this is just the way I've been playing and I've come up with, I look for another stamp. And the stamp I'm going to use, so the ink is Pinecone, and I've gone for the oak leaf flourish. Now, I just need to check that is clean, because I'm going to put that on here and decide where I want it. So if you look for an open space, so I'm thinking... This is going to be slightly different to my other, but that's what I'm like. So I'm thinking here. I mean, a wreath, or should we put it there? Oh, you see, now I'm faffing. No, I'm thinking there. I like it there. Right, so then take the lid, oh, which has got other stamps on, and pick it up. Right, so this one, Pinecone. So same thing, ink it up. And we've gone for that there. Yeah, like that. So let's spin till it clicks. And then I'm just going to work my way round, lifting it up each time. Now, you can put 2 different stamps on, or a couple of stamps if you wish. But I just felt for the first time of sharing this with you, with using different stamps in different colours, I would just ink up one at a time. But if you had a design that you knew you were going to do, there's no reason why you couldn't put a couple of stamps on at the same time. Now, I'm thinking for those special, dare I say, Christmas cards, this would be fabulous. But also, you know, I know it's a considered purchase, but when you think, if you're somebody who struggles with wreaths, and if you're somebody who loves making them, but you struggle, just think of the money you'll save in card. So I think one more of this. Sounds like I've got a little, it's one of those cheeky mices, you know. Sorry, mice. Excuse that. We'll edit that bit out. So I've obviously got a cheeky mice in mine. Mouse. That squeak. Right, I'm going to take that off. As I say, I'm using the same stamps and colours, but I think this may look slightly different. But I've told you before, I'm no good at making exactly the same thing twice. Depends how I feel. So I use the little acorn as well. So let's have a look. That would go nice. Or we could put that on the outside. Could put that there in that space. And you have to remember to put it that way. I have a habit of putting it upside down. So I'm going to put the little acorn there. Or shall we see if we can just pick it up there. Now, what colour did I do the little acorn in? Oh, that was the same. Now, those of you that want a lovely, nice chat can stick with me. But those of you that just want this for the end design, by all means, fast forward through me. I don't blame you. So while I'm doing this and going all the way around, and if you get ink on it, look, it's fine. I'm purposely not wiping that ink off from my ink pad just to see. Don't forget it on my finished piece, I'll cry. But I'm hoping I won't. There we go. So, how are you keeping? I hope you're keeping well. I know a few of you had a few health issues recently. So, if you're one of those ladies or gentlemen, we'll send you a big group hug. And look at this, it's perfect. I mean, I just could not do that placement even. And I have to say, with the little stamps on the little block, I tend to over ink the corners and it takes me as long to clean it. So for me, although this, you know, you're repeating it, it's probably quicker in the long run than me cleaning all the bits off the corner and me getting ink off those corners. Right now, I'm really loving that. But I'm thinking we've got the little, this little one here, and we did this in Sand Dune, so I'm thinking, oh, I know, let's put the berry on first because I really love that berry. Where did my berry go? Here. And I did that in red, so I'm thinking if I place that first, and if I put the berry there, then I can add my foliage, can't I? So that way down, let's put it as though it's, I like that angle. So just take your time getting the angles right. And this one I'm coming in with strawberry. First one, yeah, like that. And we'll have a few of these going round. Like I say, if you don't want as many of them, you can go around 2 clicks instead of 1. Just remember to click it. And then next one, yeah. Just makes me smile every time I hear that squeak. Now, with the mini stamps, you know, I mean, I'm going to change orientation with the berry, but there's no reason why with the mini, if you're anything like me, I have 2 of a lot of them in case I lose one. Because, well, I say in case I lose one, I have certain ones like Pippin that go for walks. The butterfly flies off. So there's no reason why if you had 2 of them, you couldn't actually stamp 2 at the same time. But what I want to do with this is come in now and I need to give it a good clean because I want to stamp it in the darker brown just to give some colour out here. So what I'm thinking is that sort of with the darker brown. So if we've got a little bit of red there, it doesn't matter. I'm going back with the darker brown. Yeah, I like that. I just wanted a bit more of the darker brown. So we'll add a few of those. Quite funny because I will say, I mean, if you're used to using a stamping platform, you'll know anyway, you do need that bit more space. And you know what my craft room's like. My table definitely seems to be getting smaller and smaller. The area I craft on. And I have to say, those of you that have been sharing photos of your fabulous craft rooms with lots of space, I'm quite envious. So bring this round. And you can really feel, for those of you that want to know, you really can feel where to click it in. It just clicks in beautifully. There we go. So that's all the way around. So again, I'm just going to give that a bit of a wipe. And then one more was this lovely little leaf, and I think this is mini leaf. It may be mini leaf 1, and we're going to put that there. So bear with. And that one we're going to come in with Sand Dune. Now I must tell you about Sand Dune. So I did a workshop in Cumbria recently, and sorry, my bad throat. And when I sent out the class list, I hadn't noticed, but where I'd put Sand Dune, my iPad had decided that it was really called Sandra Dune. So all the ladies were saying that they had brought Sandra Dune. So now not only do we have Shady Lady, we have Sandra Dune as well. But the trouble is, you know what I'm like, that's liable to stick in my head. So if we have Sandra Dune, I'm warning you now, it's just Sand Dune. But look at this, if you're worried about when you stamp a wreath coming too far out, how quick and simple is this? And just choose a few stamps before you start, choose yourself some colours, and wow, look, and that's the last one with that. Just stunning, absolutely stunning, look. Now, I'm going to give that a quick blot. Just get myself a piece of copy of paper. Because all I'm going to do to finish it off is get some Sahara ink and again blend it in the lid and just bring that round. And I blotted it because I don't want my ink to smudge. And I'm just going to add some base colour just to take the whiteness off. And again, I'm blending it in the lid. Look, I'm holding it here with my hand because it's really important. If you don't, you might get lines, and you don't want to spoil it and get lines, do you? I mean, look at this. It's just stunning. Right, and then we're just going to add a little bit of quick colouring to those leaves. So again, this time I'm coming in with Scorched Timber and my little number 3 brush, look. And I'm just going to fill in just a basic colour, a little bit of depth on those leaves. Now again, it might be you want to use your colouring pencils and you want to spend the afternoon colouring those leaves in which case that is fabulous. And you know what? You have a lovely, lovely time. Just for today, because I know I wanted to show you in depth all that stamping, I don't want to keep you too long, so I'm showing you that if you want to take your time stamping like me and then do a bit of quick colour, this is the way. I think this is the way forward with colouring myself. I think you get just as good a result. So I'm going to do that on the leaves, look, and that just gives it that depth. But on the lovely acorn, and I'm just going to use, just going to come in, and this is just one of my pencils, and I know you'll want to know number 31. Just going to rest on my inky binky. I did put a piece of kitchen roll, but I've knocked it on the floor and Eric's laid on it, so I was prepared, honest. Now I'm hoping you can see the whole of this because I've got so carried away with this gadget, I've not even looked, I've got to be honest. So a bit of depth there, and then Wink of Stella gold for the lovely acorns, look. And again, I just think that brings in those lovely autumnal tones. Now, I think, I mean, you could do this, so many different colours, and again, so many different stamps. Got so many ideas for this. Honestly, I can't stop. I know you're going to get sick of me. White gel pen, and I just want to add some highlights. Not on everything, but just a few. Maybe on some of these. How many times have you done that? Have you said, I'm just adding highlights on a few, and when you look back, you've added it on everything? I just think the beautiful white, and look, it goes over the Wink of Stella, lovely. on that cone there. And then last little things. So I'm going to show you how it peels off, look. So when I'm ready, what I'll do first is put my sticker sentiment on. And I'm going to go for Gifted and Blessed. And this is from the buff. There's almost the vintage or buff. Now let's put that in the middle. Lovely. And I'll show you that just peels off. One little tip. This little mat, if you get ink on it, my suggestion is leave the ink on it. The mats are made to be reproduced. They're not easy to clean. So if you get ink, I would leave it on there. Mine's, as you can see, I'm just going to trim this here. But I'd rather work on a larger piece. A couple of little things. I want to put some stickles on now. And I'm going to use the dot and dab method. So I'm just going to go all the way around the middle with my little dots of stickles. And then do the dab. So we've dotted and we're going to dab just to get it all over here. Nice and light, and it'll just add. I'm actually avoiding the lovely acorns because I've got my Wink of Stella on those. But I can get it on the rest of the foliage. And then finally, I'm going to come in with, it's got to be, hasn't it, my yellow sparkle Posca, and just add some Posca splats just around. Now if you're not into your Posca splats, obviously leave this off. I'm afraid I love them. But you know what, I would have a look, how many stamps have you got, how many different wreaths could you make, and how easily can you make them with this system. So look at that. Now I reckon it may have taken us about half an hour, but I know that I've taken my time to show you. So that's the design today. I think it's slightly different. Look, I added orange on here. So this one's summertime. In case you want to know, that's the summertime. I obviously left the summertime off this, but again, it just shows you the difference. So I'll give you a quick look at that one with the orange, and there's the one without. See, I love them both, and look how uniform they are. In my opinion, stunning. If ever, this is from the heart, if ever you have struggled with creating wreaths, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, this will make it so easy for you and reproducible. Now, I can't wait, I've got another idea, so I'm going to go off now, and I'm just thinking of an idea that I can use totally different stamps, but come up with, I'm thinking more pattern building next. So, thanks for popping in. Love and hugs from me, and thanks for all your lovely comments. If you do this design, please share it, please encourage each other. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.